Today I'm here with Mark Richardson, a franchisee and multi-studio owner of F45 in Sydney, Australia.
That's the easiest thing that I've ever sold in my life.
Mark is also the former sales performance director for F45, which means during that time, he was helping all the new franchisees learn how the systems and processes worked for sales in the F45 system.
We're not beggars. I know I've got a great product behind me.
Today I'm going to be talking with Mark about the pre-sale process and what happens after pre-sale to make sure fitness studios are still successful when it's over.
You need to get people to picture themselves training inside your studio.
We're going to go over a lot of strategies and ideas, so make sure you get out your notes and get ready because this is going to be one of your favorite episodes around pre-sale success.
The more you get good at asking for feedback, the more you will start to recognize when that person's ready to make a buying decision.
Gym owners and fitness entrepreneurs, are you doing all you can to manage leads, improve retention, and build meaningful relationships with your clients? If not, UpLaunch can help. Built by gym owners for gym owners, they've proven battle-tested software and marketing campaigns that will save you time and increase revenue so you can focus on the important things in life. Find out whether CRM is trusted by gym owners worldwide. Schedule a free demo at useuplaunch.com today. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the GSD show, and today I am here with Mark Richardson from F45, actually franchisee of 2 locations in Sydney, Australia for F45.
One Sydney, one Melbourne.
Oh, 1 Sydney and 1 Melbourne, all the way from Australia, and former sales performance director for all F45. Now, what does that mean, sales performance director? What was your role there?
Basically, it was the onboarding of new franchisees and teaching them, I guess, how to take someone from first contact through to hopefully F45er for life. So it was a full sales operations, recruitment, local area marketing, that real ops, sales and ops role.
So basically, if I'm a new F45, I've got to go through your training before I can actually get on the floor and start doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
you come to induction week, you do a full week of athletics training, tech, sales, recruitment, etc., etc.
Perfect. You're great, and we've actually done a lot of cool little videos together. You've been on GSD Con stage, which is fantastic, and now we are doing the GSD show. And what I think there's a few different things you could bring to the table, because obviously you're great at what you do. There's a reason you were selected, and also, with 2 great studios out in Australia, there's a lot you could bring to the table. But we got to keep it into somehow like a 30 to 45 minute slot. So I figure the thing that I think you excelled at when I've had a conversation with you and the stuff that you and I have talked about previous to being on here is you're really great at the pre-sale. You really understand how to transition from pre-sale to launch. Like, okay, we're not in pre-sale anymore. Now here's what we do and how we do it well. And then also sales training, right? Because training is not like a one-time thing. Right? It's not like here's
like
how you
sport.
Yeah, like it depends on what you're being trained on, right? So like here's how you use an Apple computer. Well, show me once. I got it from here. But with everything else, like LeBron James still does layup lines. Tom Brady still does quick 10-yard throws, right? And he's practicing those. And for sales, I believe it's the same thing. Training is not a project, it's a process. It's got to keep going. You're really good at that as well.
Yeah, and we used to get a lot of that feedback from the F45 owners who would come to the sales training and we'd go back to the same place 2-3 times, and I'd be like, oh, no one's going to turn up, because they've always been here. But we would get a lot of return custom, and the common feedback was, oh, I've seen you 3 times now, and I get something different out of it each time, which is a great sign that they're leveling up each time and their base knowledge is going, and they're getting that little detail out of it, which is where a lot of the gold is.
And it's also because you're ready to hear that information. Maybe out of 100 pieces of information, at that point, you're only ready to hear this 15 or 20. The other 80 doesn't resonate because they don't address pain points. You can't see yourself in the situation yet. But then later on, it's like reading a book, right? You go back and you're like, wow, I didn't realize this book talked about this. And it's because before it wasn't a pain point, it wasn't on your radar, and you're in a different place now. So it pops off the page almost, just like your stuff. It's almost, they feel like you're talking to them and training.
Absolutely. Well, and plus they're open then. When you come to induction, it's like you just get this overload of information that you're not actually putting into practice yet. So it's not until you're doing it that it go, oh, okay, now this makes sense.
Right.
And we've got this forgetting curve anyway. What is it? 20% of what you learn you'll forget in 2 weeks unless you can go and practice it straight away.
100%.
And we get this gap between induction and opening where they're not practicing that. And so that's when the forgetting curve comes in. So quite often the biggest sort of upskill comes when they're open and they're doing it and they can go, right, I can go back in, I can do that tomorrow.
Got it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So before we dive into the content, which we're going to be doing right in like a minute here, I definitely want to make sure everybody watching, everybody listening, make sure that you like the episode, hit the little bell icon on YouTube so you can be subscribed and alerted every time we come out with new stuff. If you guys are watching it live on Facebook right now, go ahead and like, go ahead and comment. And also, I'll be watching live and Mark, so we can actually answer questions as we go. And we've got some really cool things coming up from Loud Rumor as well. GSDCon, which is a conference you spoke at. It's the best conference on planet Earth for fitness studios. You've got to go. Go to gsdcon.com to be able to pre-register. And outside of that, Mark, the stuff that we are going to be talking about after this show's over, going into our production room, it's all stuff on sale. Basically an extended version of what we're going to do in here.
Sure.
And that's what we're adding into our Loud Rumor virtual training program. So if you guys want access to that, not only see Mark's training, but many other trainings that we've got in there on how to be a successful fitness studio owner, everything from sales to marketing to advertising to finance to business to operations to HR, whatever you name it. You want to be a successful fitness studio owner, put down the YouTube videos that are random and go to loudrumorvt.com and we'll show you exactly how to do it like the best do as the best come in and teach you exactly how they do it. Sounds good?
Yep.
Mark, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's start with where it starts, pre-sale.
Yep.
Right. So how do you run an effective pre-sale? You've been a part of many of them, not just with your own, but also with helping others with theirs. What do you believe makes a successful pre-sale?
Personally, I like to leave a lot of the action to late. Like I love pre-sales. It's one of the most exciting parts of business. I like to use the kind of the Gary V. jab, 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 right hook philosophy with pre-sale. And don't get me wrong, pre-sale is the one time where it kind of is about the price, whereas the rest of the time we teach people don't make it about the price, make it about the solution.
Right.
It's the one time where it can be, because you've got one offer, it's the best offer you're ever going to get, and you've only got a limited amount of it. So you can create what I call passive pressure around people. I like to gather a crowd first, and work on that same philosophy as you would with a lead that came in, where they've got to, know you exist first. They have to like you, they have to trust you, and then buy from you from there. So I think in the pre-sale we have to be really cognizant of the different buying mentalities of people. So you've got your fast start buyer, and this is the person who likes new things. They might want to change the scenery. They're a risk taker. They're going to buy your foundation memberships, probably off your website.
Really?
Before you even talk to them.
Okay.
But then you've got your complex buyer, who's your fact finder, and they're the ones who want to know you're going to open. They want to know, where is the site, and who are you? What have you done?
They want information.
They're going to put the jigsaw puzzle together. So you need to understand which one you're talking to, because you'll probably find that one will go for your foundation memberships and one will want to come and try and see and smell it and touch it and experience it and meet you before they make that buying decision.
Right.
That's the person where you have to create this passive pressure. No problem, you're more than welcome to do that, but just understand we've only got 50 foundation memberships. I'd hate to see you miss out. So as soon as you know you do want to continue, please let me know, because they will sell out. Right? And you've got to be super confident with that as well. Not like, we're not beggars. People are coming to us because they want us. You don't walk into a hairdresser's unless you need a haircut. So no one's contacting you unless they have a problem they need solved. So it's kind of our duty of care to help them solve that problem. So your fast starters will look after a lot of those early ones. But I like to build that crowd first, and sort of that teaser campaign style thing of, hey, guess what's coming to this town? Here's what we do, in case you're not aware of what F45 is. This is what you can expect. Boom, boom, boom. We're releasing our foundation memberships on this date. I'll make sure you're the first to know, so you get first choice of those. So you create a little bit of what they call
exclusivity.
Yeah, I call it the stratosphere, right? People like being part of an exclusive club. There's only going to be 50 of these memberships. I'd love you to be one of the first people who come in here. Gather your crowd, then release them. I always say there's no point releasing 50 foundation memberships to 12 leads. I want 300 leads there, and I want them to know there's 300 leads there. Hey, we've had unprecedented interest in this. We've had over 300 people inquire about these foundation memberships. They're going to be released on this date, and when you do, boom, they're open now.
Right.
I like seeing a countdown on social media of how many are left.
How do you share that, the countdown?
Only X amount of foundation memberships left, and I always go out with. I like doing foundation memberships in phases. I do 3 phases of them. Don't announce that at the start though. It's only 50 foundation memberships for all intents and purposes. Always count them down, and I always wait until there's an odd number left before I actually announce that on social media.
Like what kind of an odd number?
27.
Got it. So
Only
like just a
20.
weird random number.
Exactly, because why would you put that unless there is only that amount left? You know, when you see, if it's too linear, you know, it might not look as legitimate.
Yeah, we like 11 and 13.
Yeah,
11 and
any
13
odd
work well
numbers.
for us.
Yeah, so we count it down if we've got 50 of them, and we'll use 45 a lot for F45. You know, count them down from like 37,
Right.
and then there's 29. And then not only do people see, well, hang on, they're selling. These things are popular.
It really is going away.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But there's also that mentality of, they'll sell 200 of these if they can. Come on, you can't tell me there's only 50. So that's why I say you have to be really disciplined with that first phase, that when they are gone, they're gone, right?
Of course.
Great, and now it's your second phase. Due to unprecedented demand, we've had to put out phase 2 foundation memberships. That says 2 things. 1, this thing's popular, right? They're selling. 2, for that person who was sitting there, the skeptic saying, they'll sell 200 of them. I've seen gyms do this all the time. They'll go, oh, okay, they were for real. I better get on these because they're going to put the price up again when these ones are gone.
Right.
So that's that's that passive pressure that I talk about. We're not actually forcing anything on anyone. We're just saying these are going to run out if you don't.
What's that post look like? Are you doing it in an ad? Or are you doing it organic? A video, GIF? How are you announcing that there's 27 left?
We'll often do a sponsored ad on that one.
Sponsored ad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Generally social. Like certainly with my 2 studios, Facebook is where we put all our money. That's where we got the best bang for buck. I think my first studio, we spent a little over $2,000
Okay.
to get 170 foundation members.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
yeah,
We just started actually the Instagram story ads, which is crazy. But there's a cool way that we found to do it. It works better. If you just do general Instagram story ads, it's not that great. But if you do poll ads where they have to answer a question, yes or no, and then a swipe up, but really all 3 options.
people go for that, don't you? That's very alluring.
We're talking leads going from $25, $30 to like $2, $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quality. And we actually just tested Snapchat ads today. Got the data back. We tested it over the last couple days. We got so far with the one trial studio, 9 leads at $3 cost per lead.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because you could target same thing. Like I get it, it's a millennial, or not even millennials, Gen Z too. But you can still say, yeah, I get it, but I only want to target people in their 30s. So it's pretty cool. We can go into stuff like that too.
Yeah, we haven't played there. I mean, and I'm no marketing expert at all in that space.
But you know how to get them in front of people, create that urgency. I mean, marketing is like so many other things where it's a rabbit hole. You could just keep going. But as long as you know a good portion, you combine that with a great sales process and great service after, you don't need to go down the entire rabbit hole.
No.
Because you don't need 500,000 members. You need like 500 to 700.
Correct. We're a capped model.
Yeah. So. How many can you fit in your studio? Like the average studios, F45s?
I always look at 300 members
300?
as the target.
You guys charge more than the average though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys charge typically over there?
At home, it's say $260 a month.
$260 a
yeah,
month.
220 to 260.
Yeah, that's about what it is here in the US too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we got $390 in my Melbourne studio. It creates other problems. I mean, they're first world problems. I get it, but that's when you get wait lists on classes.
And that's so people don't want to wait. They can't get into a class that they want.
Yeah. We are a usership model as well, so you can't oversubscribe like a big box gym. I sell 5,000 people. If they all turned up, we have an OH&S issue. With ours, we need people to come in and train. So there is only a certain amount of people.
It is a champagne problem. It is a problem. Like you have to deal with it. We actually met a few studios that actually do something really cool where they have primetime hours and they have non-primetime where you can get a membership at like 70% of the price, but you can only go to classes between like 11 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yeah, we effectively had to do that
you
due
have
to
to.
demand.
Yeah, over time. Cool. All right, so You got 16, F45 has what, 1,600 studios now? Or
I think
more
they've
than that?
sold 18, 19, they'd be close to 2,000 now. I think they sold 84 last month alone.
Wow, 84 franchisees. So close to 2,000 fitness studios. So I mean, you guys know what to do, and I get to see what's happening in the pre-sale process. And I mean, what is it about F45's pre-sale that you think does so well? Because you guys kill it. Like, what's the offer? How do you pitch it? Or what is it that you think makes it work so well?
Well, one, your foundation membership, you know, that's the friendliest membership you're ever going to get. And I think, you know, fitness consumers know that, you know, the foundation membership.
What is it, typically half off or
no,
30% off, 20%?
Yeah, probably 30, closer to 30.
off.
So I know at home, you know, we talk in weekly pricing. So 66 is our weekly RRP.
Oh, you guys do weekly?
Yeah, it's
Is that
culturally
normal in
weekly.
Australia?
Yeah, we don't talk monthly.
That's so much smarter.
Yeah, well, break it down to the ridiculous.
You get a whole extra month of payments.
Exactly.
So for everyone watching and listening, because I've met studios that do weekly, and I've had an online trainer charge me weekly. Because what happens is if you let's say it's 75 a week, everyone does the math and they go, oh, okay, so it's 300 a month.
Exactly.
Because they do 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But there's 52 weeks in a year, not 48 weeks in a year. And so it's really like $333 a month or something like that, right? So at the end of the year, you make an extra $300 per member per year, and you have, you know, 10 members, that's 3,000. You have 100 members, that's $30,000 more just by going on a weekly model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, you're presenting a smaller number. You know,
Yeah.
it's more palatable.
Yeah, right.
You know, to look at that.
I
If that's
love that you
culturally,
got-
you know,
Even if
accepted.
it's not, it got culturally somehow. Someone started it and
Well,
it
they're
worked.
changing over here. A lot of them are changing over
Yeah.
here to a weekly.
I think it's smart.
Membership presentation.
And it looks less.
Yeah.
It can look less because
Yeah.
smaller numbers just more regularly.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if we were starting at 66 for our, you start at the end with your
Yeah.
pricing. Like, where are we going to be when we're open and we've got that critical mass in? We generally sort of say 50 is the lowest you should go. A lot of them are starting at 55 now, but I mean, a standard would be to do phase 1 at 50 per
Which they
week.
see as 200 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Phase 2 at 55, phase 3 at 60, and then move to 66.
Got
And
it.
then you bring in your 6-month, 12-month options, which come back down
I love
as
it.
well. But you want one offer in your pre-sale. You don't want to be
Sure.
doing 6-month foundation memberships, because then you're dipping down lower and lower
Yeah, yeah.
again. Foundation members stay longer as well. So it's that fine balance where, yes, you want to get into profit as quickly as possible, but you don't want 350 foundation members, or you're going to be counting the cost of how much money you've left on the table a year later.
Yeah, and ultimately that will kind of correct itself over time, because
Natural
you can't
attrition.
you can't prevent attrition no matter what. People move, people get pregnant, people get hurt, they test new things. So eventually, you know, in 2-3 years' time, you may have lost half of those charter members, and then you started replacing them with more. But the fact that you had full classes helped you attract those regular price members down the road.
And that's the key when you've got these two options of, you can either have a foundation membership or you can come in and trial, right? Obviously you want to pitch that foundation membership, but you don't want to burn the trial by pushing the foundation membership too hard. If they don't want to take that, no problem. Come in and see for yourself if you enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's like walking onto an aeroplane, right? And the airplane's full, and there's 10 people here who are on frequent flyer seats, and so they paid nothing, and there's 20 over here who booked really early and they paid $49 for their seat, and then there's 10 up there who booked last night and they paid $2.99.
Right.
As the customer walking onto the plane, you don't know that.
No.
Every seat's got a dollar figure on it. You don't know. You see a full plane. Wow, this is a popular airline. This must
Right.
be a good place.
Right.
You want full classes. You want to start with full classes, and there might be some people in there who have got no intention at all of joining. They are just there because you put a complimentary trial up.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
No one walks into an empty restaurant.
Right. I love it. It's true. I've walked out of restaurants that are empty because I'm like skeptical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one of them was a sushi restaurant. I was like, "There's no way that fish has been sitting out for a while."
Correct. You
I'm
want
outta
there,
here.
if you're eating raw
I
stuff,
want the
you want the
seafood turning. Yeah, I want that turning. Okay. All right. Great. So when it comes to the pre-sale, let's say I'm a new F45 franchisee, right? I just come on board. I'm like, yes, I'm excited. This is a great model. When do I start going through sales training?
Typically, so we'll start
What's the timeline?
pre-sale process 3 months out. So in that month before then, ideally as
a
close
month
to
before
that.
the pre-sale starts.
Yeah.
So,
Now you can choose when you go, but ideally as close to possible as when you're actually going to be doing it.
What kind of stuff am I learning?
We take an avatar. Well, this is what I did. I took an avatar called Mary through from initial contact through to retained member.
Really quick too, for everyone listening, I know what you mean by avatar. Some people call it buyer persona, but it's basically you define who the ideal member that you want to work out at your studio is. You define who that person is, how old are they, and like that's what you're about to go into right now. So everything you do is structured for that person, right?
Yeah,
okay,
certainly.
So you have your avatar.
And that was just one of the examples. And I guess the biggest demographic in F45 is the 30 to 40-year-old female.
Okay.
Now that's where the biggest percentage is. So that's what I used as an avatar, and it was a mum as well, which
like 2 kids, something like that.
correct.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so I go, great, that's the avatar. What kind of stuff do you feel you spend the most time in training? Because you know it's going to happen more often, and or this is where most people struggle when selling.
The initial contact.
Initial contact?
Like without that strike while the iron's hot mentality, the rest falls away really quickly.
You mean the lead just came in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what did you now?
Getting onto that super quick. You and I know the stats that, if you don't get to them within 2 minutes, it'll take 8 to 10 calls. After 3 minutes, they're 3 times less likely to engage
By
with
5
you.
minutes. So there's a study, if you guys go to Google, and actually McKenna will put this on the screen for anybody watching instead of listening. Put it on the screen, if you Google search MIT form lead study.
Yes.
And what they actually found was leads that are driven by marketing to forms, digital leads through forms, which is how you're going to get these, right? Most of them have a 9 times worse chance of being reached if you wait 5 minutes or longer.
Yeah.
Once you hit that 5-minute mark, you're 9 times less likely to get them on the phone. So that's when people go, I don't even know if these phone numbers are real. No, they're real. They're just over it now.
Yep, exactly. And my mantra, and I get them to write this down to all the salespeople, is get them off Google.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Get them off Google, because if you haven't called them within that 2-3 minutes, someone else has.
To call on the next one.
Yeah. And these days, no one's ever asked me what my training resume looks like.
Right.
They don't care. If you're the first person who calls them and takes an interest and actually, cares about them, that's who they're going to gravitate to. So that's where the game's won or lost for me.
Here's another thing too, for those that don't really understand the marketing and the advertising game so well, and how algorithms play such a role in this. So Mark, let's say you were running an ad and I saw it, right? I'm on Facebook. Let's say I've had no real interest lately in joining a fitness studio, but everything else fit, right? So I haven't seen a fitness studio ad in months, right? I see your ad. Oh, this looks really good. I click on it. Oh, this looks really good. I fill out the form. Now I'm on a retargeting list, right? All those things play a role in Facebook going, that's where his mind's at right now. He's interested in this. So let's show him more stuff like this. So now that other advertiser that the other fitness studio doesn't have a budget either to get in front of everyone in the 5-mile radius. They have a budget to maybe get in front of like 10% of it over this month, right? That fits the demographic. But how does Facebook determine who qualifies for that 10% of all these people? Well, the people that are in that behavior right now, that's their behavior. So the fact that if I have an ad running for my fitness studio, and if you clicked on it, I've just increased the odds for other fitness studios to have their ad showing. How do I win that game? I call first.
Yep.
I get on the phone first, get it out of the way, move on.
Yep.
Right.
And if you can get them in, and I know during pre-sale you can't get them in, but when you're open, if you can get them in the same day that they inquire, there's something like an 80% chance that they'll show up, and that percentage is said to halve every day. That's how quickly that they fade away, and the pain's not there anymore, and they go back to normality.
Yeah. Well, speed's the name of the game, and I don't know how it is in Australia, but US is, if not it's one of the most obese countries in the U.S.
I would be giving you a shake now.
Oh yeah, you're giving us a run? Okay, so that's probably why we're doing so well in these two markets. But the reason that people are so obese in this country, and Australia as well, is because it's not part of routine. It's not a normal thing. I was just in Zurich, in Switzerland. Nobody was fat.
Yeah, right.
Nobody was obese. I didn't see anyone. I think I saw one person that
Don't
looked like they
make
were
chocolate
overweight.
over there?
And they make chocolate and cheese, right? And I saw maybe one person that was overweight, and he had a Patriots jersey on. So I'm pretty sure he was from the US, right? But everyone's walking and riding bikes. That's the culture. It's part of routine to walk and ride a bike. That's not part of our culture. And so because it's not part of our culture, we don't think about it. Now, fitness people do, right? You and I, we wake up and we, like you even said it, you're like, I think I'm gonna go to F45 in the morning tomorrow, right? It's not even 10 o'clock in the morning and you're already thinking about the next morning and when you're gonna work out. That is not the norm outside of the fitness industry.
And this is what people in our industry need to understand, that our customer is not you.
Right.
It is not about you.
They're not as committed.
No, exactly. And then they're not thinking, yeah, when am I going to train today? When am I going to eat my chicken and broccoli? Like, they're thinking about, how am I going to get this deal across the line?
Right.
How am I going to pay the mortgage this month?
How am I going to get kids to practice?
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
like they're not normal like us.
You know, but it's so true, because once you can get your mind wrapped around that, you stop thinking about, like, I hear fitness studio owners say, oh, I need people that are committed. Dude, you're committed. They're not committed. They're just not. They can get committed, but someone's got to get them there. In fact, you heard me talking to McKenna about another employee on the team, and I was like, I really want her to get signed up. Why? Because I want her to commit to something. Once she gets going, that's first step one, right? Yeah. Step one. But until step one kicks in, you're still in the same field.
Yeah, and plus we work in an industry that's associated with pain.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, discomfort.
Right.
And that's why.
Mental too.
Yeah, and that's where I think the brilliance of F45, that we've taken what's perceived to be the hardest form of training, which is HIIT, and we've made it fun and made it something that people want to turn up to.
And for everyone.
Yeah.
So I've now met two people, McKenna, and also there's a guy, Justice here, his girlfriend. McKenna lost 40 pounds and she lost 50 pounds.
Yep.
Suddenly she was 40 pounds overweight, the other girl was 50 pounds overweight, and they felt not only okay and comfortable, but motivated enough to lose 40 and 50 pounds. Right? And I think it's another thing too, is Eric Russell talked about this in his GSD episode, is, you know, hey, great, that's who we help. We help everyone. Find out what their goal is real quick and be like, oh yeah, we work with that. That's what we do. Pretty much everyone in there is just like you.
Yeah, and you need to pacify people and disarm them with that. And that's one of my favorite lines, is that our studio is full of people just like you.
Right.
Because a lot of people will call, and after I'm just calling to get the prices, the next most common first question is, hey, I really like the look of what you do, but I don't think I'm fit enough. Right? And so that's where you have to let them know, hey, our studio is full of people just like you. Because social media, it can create a bit of a misconception about what happens inside these studios. So you've got every right to think that it's full of fitness models thrashing themselves every time you walk in.
You do, especially when you see the ads.
Buying.
Well, because most people put ads out like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's sexy. That means that your 30 to 40-year-old mum of two is terrified when they see that. It looks like fun though, but you just need to get people just to turn up. Just get through that door and we can do the rest.
Yeah, I think people made a mistake when they started advertising fitness studios. They're doing a little bit better now. Generally, it's getting better, but products and services are different. When you advertise a product like leggings, sneakers, headphones, right? It's better to put the sexy, what I want to look like person wearing that, because you feel like just by having that headphone set, you'll look like her a little more. Yeah. Right? But with fitness, it's the opposite, because you know damn well you're not going to look and feel like her when you walk in there. You know they're going to be like that. Yeah. And so it's better to actually run ads with images and videos of people that actually fit more of that avatar that you're looking to target.
Yeah, big time. So we're selling a concept, aren't we? Really, that we're going to take you from here to here.
Yeah,
we have to get them to visualize.
We have to have it all. Exactly. Yeah. So the initial contact, that's one of the things that you definitely harp on. What's another thing in sales training where you're like, okay, great, that's one, how to really make sure we make that initial contact. What's another piece that you're like, we've got to make sure this is down?
During the pre-sale, I think a lot of owner to camera work is really powerful.
What do you mean by that?
Letting people know who you are, where you are, most importantly, that it's real. In the 90s in Australia, we had a spate of gyms, big box gyms, or probably medium box gyms, big pre-sale, they'd lease all the equipment, fill a room up, it looked great, we're opening in a month's time. You had a 5-year membership for $1,000, and they'd sell 300 of these things and never open the doors, disappear.
Wow.
Right? So in Australia now, you can't sell more than a 12-month membership up front.
Oh, it's illegal.
It's illegal.
Wow.
Because of this. Now, whether this is a carryover from that, I don't know. People want to know what's going to happen, right? Are you going to order your bread from the bakery that's still in construction? You know,
Right.
I need some bread in a couple of months. I will. I'll put my order in there now and pay something for it as well. It's a big leap of faith.
Right.
So I think people want to know who they're dealing with. They want to know who they're going to talk to when they come in there. Things like location videos and things that are real, like use your phone. Don't be all slick like this. Use your phone.
Yeah.
Letting them know where to park. You know, some landmarks that are near. You need to get people to picture themselves training inside your studio.
Right.
And here it is in construction. Make them goofy as possible. I like the. I like that sort of theme of, look, we take what we do very seriously, but not ourselves. So that this is going to be a fun place to turn
like
up to.
that
You've got to
phrase.
get that culture across, I think, early on in there, so that you're someone that people want to do business with.
Got it.
When you come in. 'Cause so you've got your slick campaigns that you guys do over here, and your paid stuff. Your organic stuff, I think, has to be real.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and you know, when it comes to high production, low production, you know, we found that a lot of our organic stuff does really, really well. You know, phone right here.
Yep.
The reason I do this and the GSD con, if you remember that stage, how all out we went, LRVT, like it's so much over the top. It's more than it's necessary, right?
You're a social media marketing company, though. It's kind of expected.
Well, the reason, here's the thing, it's not as expected.
Right.
Look at most fitness marketing companies' podcasts. It's a Zoom recording.
Yeah.
Look at most fitness marketing companies, you know, events. They're in a Marriott. They're like in some like room, right? Look at most of their training videos. It's a screen recording. So when we started, we did all that. And then what we realized was we were creating trends that everyone was copying. It was too easy to copy. And so we took it up a notch because it's hard to copy this.
Yeah.
It's hard to copy our conference. It's hard to copy our learning center. You've got to like invest in time and people and money. And so this is for certain things. But when it comes to organic content, yeah, sometimes just me holding up my phone. Here's live. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Here's our meeting. Here's how we're doing it. Hey, here's our best member of the week so far. Here's how it works. So that kind of stuff does really well. You just got to understand there's time and place for everything. And for a fitness studio, I think just straight up organic like that is going to work best in most cases.
Yeah, and most people who buy fitness franchises, they're not marketing experts.
No,
at all.
That's not their thing.
And so
They're
that's
not content
why
people.
Do what you do best. Outsource the rest, please. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you got to blend in to stand out. You know, when you think about Facebook, what videos do you stop on? Do you stop on the thing that looks like an ad, or do you stop on the thing that looks like it's a home video and like something's about to happen?
Yeah.
Right? Like all of a sudden you see a kid like walking with a baseball bat. You're like, uh-oh.
Fails.
Something's about to get ready. Something's
hits,
happening.
yeah.
It could be grainy. It could be beat up. It doesn't matter. I'm watching to see what happens.
No, I've got 3 boys, and keeping them off YouTube, you know, is the hardest thing, because they all want to watch fails. They want to watch, you know, that guy stacking on his BMX bike or skating down and, you know, knocking himself out on a rail.
Right.
That's what they go for. It mustn't change as adults.
No, we go.
Yeah.
Falling and farting will be funny at any age. Those two things will always be funny. The dad, the grandpa will laugh at a fart and will laugh at someone falling. It is what it is. Now. We're laughing now, just thinking about it. All right. So got it. That makes sense. Owner to camera. I think a big issue, I don't know how it is over in Australia or in your studios, but hiring people that have issues or insecurities around spending money themselves, and then this way when they get into asking for money, they're already projecting the person's going to think it's too expensive. How do you get over that hump, or how do you hire the right person, or how do you retrain or reframe that person's mind if you're not going to fire them?
This is
That's
why
tricky.
It is, and it's why I created, you know, a soft selling kind of process.
What's soft selling mean to you? What's that look like?
Mine is around having the customer make all the key decisions and having them call the shots, if you like. Don't get me wrong, we're there with the puppet strings leading them down the path we want them to go, but they're the ones making the decisions. They're the ones being empowered. So by the time it's time to choose a membership, they've chosen the membership. They've not been sold anything. That's the key to mine. You know, people love buying things. They hate being sold things. So it's about creating a pathway that basically ushers them into a membership.
Can I challenge that real quick?
Yeah, no, we
Because I've been saying that. I've said that for years.
Yep.
And I believed it. And then something reframed my mind. And I don't believe that anymore.
Yeah.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
And by the way, I want to make sure you know that I'm contradicting you, but I thought like you
That's
until
why I
this
know
moment.
we
until
oppose
this
on
moment.
a couple of things.
Yep,
so,
yep.
yeah.
I was at a
There's no right and
restaurant.
wrong.
Yep, I was at a restaurant. And while I'm at a restaurant, I already decided what I was going to buy. In my head, I was ordering a salmon salad. It was done. The waiter comes up and tells us about this special. Blew us away. The way he sold it, he was like, white wine cream sauce, lightly breaded with capers and artichokes and tomatoes, and he's just describing it so well. My mouth was watering, and I go, dude, I'll take that, right? He came by, I ate it, I thanked him. I go, I'm so glad you sold me on that. That was the best meal I've ever had. I think people like to be sold too, because I actually was excited he sold me. I think people like to be sold, they just don't like to be sold shit.
Well, you can only sell shit once, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good product you can sell over and over again.
Exactly.
What that guy was influential.
Yes.
That's what we need
Painted
to be.
a great picture.
Correct. Is influential. Is him, you putting that thing in front of you and going, that's what I want to do.
Yep.
That's what we have to do, is paint
Right.
this picture the whole way. Yeah, we went through this with the, first visit
Yeah.
membership presentation versus late.
Well, there's more than one way to raise a kid. There's more than one way to get in shape. There's more than one way to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about using the time you have, relationships being that new currency, and understanding and asking the questions that lead the customer to their ultimate conclusion.
It works.
That's where it is. And the more you get good at asking for feedback, the more you will start to recognize when that person's ready to make a buying decision. If you're not asking these questions, you don't know that. Yes, there's a tripwire here where you have to ask them at some point, because if they've come in for a trial or whatever they're doing, they're going to be gone. So you have to do it. But if it happens up here, great.
What are some important questions you ask that you think are turning points in a conversation, that you just never leave a conversation without asking this question or this question? What are some important questions in your pitch or your fact-finding phase?
The biggest one is, how did you enjoy the session?
Okay.
Let's
say I say, it was great. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, fabulous. Did the trainers look after you? Did you feel they gave you good instruction?
Yeah, it was actually really fun. They came over a few different times.
Yeah, good. And what about the music? Was the music good?
Music was really good. By the way, this is all true. That was my first F45 experience I'm thinking of.
So
music was really fun.
Yeah, great. And did you find the parking okay? Did you realize we had parking?
Yeah, there was actually quite a bit of parking. It was easy.
So we're going through this kind of checklist
of all the things that just worked well.
Exactly. And the things that some of them they might even realize is a factor for them, I'm going to point it out.
Yeah.
That it's a factor.
Because maybe the parking was a problem at the last place.
Exactly.
Maybe the instructors or the music was a problem at the last place.
Yeah. Or maybe they just didn't know we had parking out there, and it's actually going to make it easy. Parking wasn't a problem, but you've just made it a bit easier for me as well.
Yeah.
So it's all of these trial close questions along the way that
you're priming them to say yes.
Exactly. And what does they say? You get 7 yeses to those, you'll probably get a sale. Because people realize, actually, this does tick a lot of boxes.
Yeah, I really like that. That's really cool. Something that I used to do a lot in selling, when selling fitness, and I do this with what I do today as well, which get people to tilt their heads or get people to challenge their own way of thinking. Kind of like with the people love to buy, people hate to be sold thing.
Yep.
Same thing. Like when people say, like, marketing isn't an expense. It's a, what do they say? It's not an expense. Marketing's a
necessity.
Investment.
Yeah,
So
necessity.
you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people will say marketing's an investment, not an expense, right? And the truth is, it isn't an expense. Just take a look at your financial statement, see where it falls. It's an expense. It's a necessary expense, like people and equipment, to secure your investment, right? So I do stuff like that because it gets people to kind of be like, change it. Oh, wow, I'm thinking a little different. In this meeting alone, I'm thinking a little different. Maybe the way I thought about everything else was wrong. So when I was selling fitness, I used to do the same thing. I say, you know, what are the areas you really want to work on? The biggest areas are really problems for you. The back of my arms and my thighs, my inner thighs, my butt. And then I used to go, yeah, you know what? Here, it's funny. A lot of women have that's where women generally store fat. So they spend a lot of their time doing tricep exercises, right? Back of the arm exercises. They spend a lot of time doing hip exercise, right? Opening up, opening out, the hip adductors and abductors. They do the butt exercise, and they usually go, yeah, I do all that. Say, yeah, here's a crazy thing. Check this out. Would you believe that you will burn more fat off the back of your arms by doing leg presses or lunges than you ever will doing tricep extensions? See, they can't get that, right? So you go, because you can't target fat. You can target muscle, so your triceps will get stronger, but the fat will still live on there because you're not burning enough calories. See, fat is made up of calories, 3,600, right? And calories are a measurement of energy. The more energy you use, the more calories you use, the more fat you lose. Now, what do you think takes more calories? Pulling as much as you can with your back of your arms or pushing as much as you can with both your legs? Oh yeah, that, exactly. And fat comes off evenly. So now they're like, wow, so the stuff we create here is meant to actually use as much muscle as possible, AKA the most energy, the most efficient workout, burning fat at the most rate, instead of isolating, really doing nothing. And that's where you see a lot of, I'm sure you've seen people, maybe yourself, you work your butt off and you get nowhere. Been there before?
Oh, I still see it in commercial gyms now. I watch trainers, you know, religiously. It's my guilty pleasure watching trainers in commercial gyms, and you've got the lady 40 pounds overweight doing tricep extensions.
Exactly, and chest pec flies, calf raises. It's like, look, we need, and it's okay to work those in every once in a while just to strain some stuff, but in reality, like the majority of your stuff needs to be multi-muscle movement and burning as much energy as you can.
And what you've done there is what we call ink spots. Is creating ink spots, and ink is an acronym for I never knew that.
Yes, that's a pretty cool. I'm gonna write that down. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down.
Ink spots in your conversations, because by doing that, you've just created a bit of expertise in that customer's eyes, and you've helped solve their problem. How I used to attack spot reduction, to say it was a myth, because if spot reduction was true, what that means is that increased movement on a particular site would mean decreased fat. Now, if that was true, then the opposite has to be also true. That decreased movement would mean increased fat. And I would ask, do you wiggle your nose? You're like, no. I said, well, then why haven't you got a fat nose?
Or your shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a myth.
It is.
It's an absolute myth.
And everyone stores it differently.
Exactly.
Like some women will be heavier in the hips, some will be heavier in the arms, some men will be heavier in the neck, some men will be heavier in the waist. Yeah, so that's I love that you label that ink. I never knew that. I'm going to steal that a little bit. Is that okay?
Can. I stole it from someone else. So
okay. I'm going to, because that I think is brilliant. It's just an easy way to think of that. I always just called it tilting heads, right?
Yeah.
But I never knew that. Good, awesome. All right, so a big challenge is, okay, great. We got a great pre-sale. I know how to get people in with these foundation rates. Fantastic. We are now live. The studio's open. Foundation rates are gone, but I still have so many leads that knew about that old price and now can't wrap their head around the new price because they're so fixated on the old price. How do I convert those people, because I know you're good at that, how do I convert those people into members even at the new rates now? Or do you give them the old rates?
As a business owner, these are the decisions that you have to make. It's your business.
Depending on where you're at in your business,
it's your business. Those conversations that you've had.
So you
with
can
that
still you open up flexibility for
I
that.
always look at, you come into some businesses and like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And you're like, I know you can, right? It's whether you choose to or not.
Right.
And they talk about the customer always being right. And my philosophy is the customer's always right, provided you want that customer's money.
Right.
At the end of the day, as long as it's not hurting integrity, if I've just sold Grayson a $66 a week membership, and you walk in and say, oh, you offered me 55, I'm like, they've gone, yeah, but you said I could have it, da-da-da-da. And I go, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. Now, all of a sudden, he's looking over going, well, hang on, I just paid 66 yesterday. You just sold 55 over here, and you've lost all integrity as a business owner.
So how do you overcome that?
Oh, you've got to put a deadline on it at some point, and this is why I call this passive urgency. around it, letting them know, you've probably told this person 8 to 10 times, these are running. They've gone through 3 phases of foundation memberships and still haven't made a decision. And I had it in my studio where someone came in at the $50 a week rate. When they inquired, they were that, complex buyer, the nervous Nellies, I call them, wanted to do the trial, make sure it was all right for them. By the time they were ready to buy, we were at 60 per week. And she said, God, I wish I'd have jumped at that 50. And I said, that's fine. I said, I respect the pace that you buy at. You needed to come in and see for yourself what it was like. If I had pushed you at 50, you would have gone, you wouldn't have even come in here.
It's better to pay more than none at all.
Exactly, yeah. I would rather that response anyway. So for me, prices are numbers on pages.
Can we role play? I want to hear how you do it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I call in and answer the phone. However you answer, we'll go from there. Cool?
I've taken yours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good.
F45 Willoughby, this is Mark. Can I ask your name, please?
Yes, my name's Mike.
Hey, Mike, are you a member with us?
No. Actually, that's why I'm calling. I've been kind of going back and forth on it, and I think I'm ready to sign up.
Yeah, fabulous. And how familiar are you with F45?
Good. I came in and did a class. You guys had like some cool rates going at the time, like, charter rates, foundation rates, and I was kind of unsure if I wanted to do it, but now I've made a decision. I want to do it.
Yeah, fabulous. Now, why at the time did you decide not to go forward?
I don't know. I don't know if I really even have a good answer. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make all the classes or if I'd commit to it. I've kind of backed out of things in the past, so I think it was more of a me thing.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're in our phase 3 foundation memberships at the moment, so we've still got 17 foundation memberships left. They're 60 per week. It's no minimum term on that. It's a 14-day cancellation at any time, and that rate will be yours for as long as you're a member with us.
Got it. Now, when I went in there, it was $50 a week. Is there any way I can still get the 50?
We did those 50 per week memberships to our first 45 members only. They sold out really quickly. We've also gone through phase 2 at 55 per week. They sold out as well. We're at 60 now, and we only got 17 of these left. So, if you do want to go forward, I encourage you to grab this now. We'll end up at 66 per week. This it is. So you're still getting 10% off here, plus you'll have that rate for life.
That. It seems easy. That seems easy. And what if a person says, by the way, I'd be sold already there. But let's say the person goes, okay, I'll have to talk to my husband. I know he was okay at 50, but that was a stretch to get him at 50. Like, it was hard. I think if I go back, I don't know if he's going to be cool with that.
Sure. What does your husband do for training?
He actually works out at LA Fitness.
Okay. Well, if he'd like to come in and do a trial with you, I'll be happy to put another week trial in for you. If you'd like to bring your husband in with him, and if you come in together and he decides he wants to go forward, then we do a 10% off partner deal as well. So you could get back to that 55 rate.
I like that. That's an example.
So we could turn one into 2.
That's a way to do it. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're going to lose people no matter what on that, but how do you get the right people to say yeah to that? Because I would have said yeah to that. To what you said. I would have said yeah on the first one. The second one's even easier.
Yeah, look, cool. I think people respect you if you're strong on your pricing, and I think, like I say, we're not beggars. I know I've got a great product behind me. I know they're still getting a deal. That, I used to, 5 years ago, I was selling 45-minute personal training sessions for $70 per week.
Right.
You can come in and get 7 PT quality sessions at less. And as a PT, I can't deliver that value and the results.
Right.
From that, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
for me,
totally.
That's the easiest thing that I've ever sold in my life.
Right. So, tying back in before we kind of close out, sales training, we talked earlier about it's a process, not a project. I know what I make my team do, but your team, how often do you guys go through sales training, role play sessions, scenarios? How often do you guys keep trained with your people?
My own personal staff? Yeah. Formally probably once a month.
Once a month?
But it's daily chats.
How does that work? Tell me give me an example what a daily chat would look like.
Oh, it's a situational thing. So, if I've just had a conversation with a customer who might be in a trial period, it might be a message to a trainer around, just understand that when, when people are trialing in here, they're actually very hypersensitive to everything, and they're probably looking for reasons why they shouldn't join, when they come in, because they're around that whole commitment thing you were talking about.
Right.
So just little hacks like that say, look, this is where this person's at. They've got some injuries, so please stay close to them in the class. Make sure we can deal with them. I like the idea that when someone comes in and is trying to see if we're right for them, that we're also doing a bit of the same, and that we can sit and have an honest conversation and say, oh, listen, I don't know if this is the right place for you, for what you're looking for right now. I think there's a lot of integrity in being able to do that and not just sort of saying yes to everybody, particularly in a boutique space, like where your culture is king, and like we said, we've got a capped membership. You want the right people in there.
Right.
So it's little situation things like that, and making sure that the trainers who are, the customer face of your business, they're the ones who are having the most contact face-to-face generally, that they're asking the right questions, particularly post-session with these trial people, and that they're getting that, eliciting that positive feedback from them, and more importantly, booking them in for their next session.
Okay.
That's the key, and make him feel like a member from day one. That's my thing. Don't make them feel like an outsider in your secret society.
They're a member from the day they come on the trial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you ever do like a spontaneous role play? Like if you overhear somebody saying something a little different than you would, you ever do spontaneous role play?
Yep.
What's that look like? What's your role play style look like?
It'd be more around, like you say, the specific thing. We had an incident only a week or so ago where I overheard a trainer in a conversation with a member, and the advice she gave was, oh, maybe you only want to do the strength days. She was having energy issues and things like that, and I was sitting there going, oh, why would you be telling someone not to train? And so that was a case of, okay, let's have a look at this. We are selling an unlimited membership. We can't really say to someone, well, you probably only should be doing 3 days a week here. Why don't we talk about it from a training point of view? And you can't go hard every day. You train hard or you train often, but not both.
Right.
And so maybe the advice there should have been, pick the days you're going to train hard on, and for that might be the weights days, like you mentioned, and then come in on the other days and just do a lower intensity session.
Love it.
But you still got to have these people turning up. Like, really, you can do the wrong thing 5 days a week, and you're going to get a result of some sort.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a program that actually makes sense.
Right.
So just get them in the door. Don't do anything that wards someone off.
Got it.
Coming in, because that's our whole game, right? Get people in the door.
So I know you still have your 2 studios. What else are you doing these days? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm helping some other F45 owners
like
get
consulting,
open.
Stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Only F45?
Yeah, at the moment. It's my wheelhouse, but I'm also writing a sales manual that will be any brand would be able to utilise that.
That's good. Playbooks are important. I think a lot of people don't have that in their business.
Yeah, and I've been documenting a lot since I've been back in my own studio. I've been just basically documenting everything to get a 12-week process in place. Because we've got the F45 challenge. My whole business works around the F45 challenge. For me, it's the best part of this business for both acquisition and retention and engagement.
Yeah.
So I'm very process driven. I'm a salesperson.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm getting it down to it's week 6 of the challenge. We're doing a Lionheart weekly challenge this week. So we're doing the Hunger Games, it's called, with the Lionheart. Okay. So we put a target up each day. If you hit it, you stay in the game. If you don't, you're out.
What would be an example of a target?
Last person standing. So, the whole Lionheart idea is to get 45 points. There's a point system allocated with the Lionheart. So we set it for different days, and it ramps up over the week. Comes to Saturday, you have to try and get 61 points in the Hollywood, and it becomes last man standing.
Wow.
In there, they win the Hunger Games.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think we got 5 people
left.
left.
I'm competitive. I feel like joining just to win.
Well, you should see what it's done for our studio. It's been amazing.
I bet.
Not only are we getting a lot more people using the Lionheart monitors now, which was what we love to see, so we can sort of monitor how they're going.
Right.
But it's getting people turning up 6 days a week. We set it conservatively so we weren't cooking people, because we wanted to be as inclusive as possible.
Because people can go twice a day, right?
Yeah, and you don't want, you can't have every challenge that the fittest person in the place wins it all the time. It has to be something where everyone can win.
Right.
In there. But it's got people coming in, it's got them engaged, it's got them wanting to train hard. Now they're looking to see how their intensity's going, or do I need to go hard on the last pod to get to stay in the game? It's been fabulous.
I love that, man. I love that. So for everyone that's tuning in right now, if you guys haven't gotten a chance to really check out Mark and his stuff, we're actually going to be creating a whole ton of stuff right now in Loudroomer VT. So if you guys want to go to loudroomervt.com, you'll be able to check it out. We got some good promos going for that too. So loudroomervt.com. Also, again, if you like this episode, like it. If you haven't commented yet, comment and share it. Share it with somebody that you think could actually get a lot of value out of this, because we covered a lot of really great stuff. So you know somebody that owns a fitness studio, or maybe some people on your team that you want to tag in the video or share with them. And for everyone watching and for everyone listening, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, or YouTube. And to watch more episodes and get exclusive links from each episode, go to gsdshow.com. Again, that's gsdshow.com.